Good afternoon, it's Allison from Quilt and Code. It's afternoon by, I think, 30 seconds, but that's okay. We are doing our Thursday regular Wander Lane series where I take the Wander Lane books and do something a little bit different. And I am definitely doing something different today. We are on Shamrock Ridge for the March month. And as you know, throughout this series, I've been trying to take some of the little things here and make them into something other than a pot holder or a pillow or something like that. And so today is something totally different. And the reason why is because this is just not my holiday. These little sweet things are absolutely adorable. And I really thought this month I am going to take this guy right here and I'm going to turn him into a real pillowcase so that I actually have a pillowcase and not needing a pillow in order for him to go on. And so I really thought I was going to do the lucky you. But like I said, I was tortured in middle school on this day. And so I would never wear green. I mean, the 17th of March just sneaks up on you. And I don't even think I owned anything green. In fact, I think Tuesday I actually wore a green shirt and shamrock earrings. And I was like, I'm 11 days early. On the 17th, I will not have my green on. And in middle school, I was pinched relentlessly. I think even in high school, but in middle school, you know how cruel kids can be. And so for me, this holiday is just not something I really think about. It's just something that is. It just is. So as I was thinking about this project, because we've been short-staffed with Will being out with COVID and Lanny and I and Mom running the shop, which has been really busy, I was like, I need something simple, something easy, something that will get me through March 17th without those horrible memories in the background. And so I've been up here for about an hour with my wonderful cup of coffee and this delicious banana muffin that my mom brought. And thinking about what I'm going to do. And I actually thought about it a couple of days. I thought about it a couple of days ago. So here's what we're going to do. It was inspired by these buttons that we created for the Ukraine people, in support of the Ukraine people when the Ukraine war started. And so these little buttons are really, really simple. Of course, I don't do things that are simple usually. I try, but it never works out that way. I don't know if you're like that, but never works out that way. But my mom uses Peltex and felt. And so it just so happens that I had a couple pieces of Peltex. Peltex is this really thick iron-on interfacing, and it's wonderful for the bottoms of bags. Gives you a nice, really stiff, firm bottom for your bag so the bag keeps its shape, and it's just wonderful. I use them now in all my bags. And so this Pellon has a sticky side. And what Mom did, the very simple thing that Mom did, was she simply took that felt and adhered it to the Peltex, okay? And so that's where the idea came from. I have tons of this Peltex hanging around because I make bags all the time and I have a ton of little things hanging around. So I was like, oh, this is perfect. I don't even need to, not only that, but the felt came from my son's adventure into creating gnome ornaments. Well, I mean, we keep felt around anyway, because I was a homeschool teacher. And so this probably came from years ago of me making felt animals and stuffed puppets. I made a whole bunch of felt puppets at one point. So that's where, so I haven't had to purchase anything for this project yet. Okay, but I did want to also play with this wonderful Wonderfill. I've been looking for stuff to use for this. Thick thread. I think this is oh my gosh, I think it's a 5 weight thread. And so it's really, really thick, wound with some silver in there. And I've got gold, I've got silver, and I've got to multicolor. And I thought, oh my gosh, this would be so cool to like put around the edges and put in there. Okay, so I got started, okay? I went ahead and I actually drew my my clover on the back, okay? I did take it from the book, but in the end, I ended up freehanding it because the stuff's so thick, you can't see even through a light box. I tried, even through a window, because that's my, go-to light box. If I really need light, is I put it up on the window. I couldn't see it. And so that's okay. But I was going with, let me see if I can find it. I was going with the size clover that was this size. So that's this. Oh, I got to move it up. Okay. So I was going with that size clover. And so I can freehand pretty well. So I just freehanded it. And then I got to stowing because I was like, is this actually going to work? And so I did do a little test because I wanted to see if I could put it on the edge. And oops, let me move it up here so that you can see. I wanted to see if I could put it on the edge and have it cut out and then put it on the edge, which maybe I really probably should do. It was working, but I'm nervous that it wasn't what I wanted, because you see how here when I got too close, it was like, and I was like, that's not what I want. I want to be able to cut around it in the end. And so I have just left I've left the Wonderfill thread just on the spool, and I'm just pulling it as I need it. And so I am using my wonderful sulky invisible thread. You can kind of see it here. I can just cut it off in a minute. Look at that. Oh, okay. No worries. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So we can use that sulky. And what I did was I took the zigzag stitch down to as little as I could this way. Okay, no, I went a little bit bigger than that, so that it would go over the thread and hold that thread in place. So the thread's not going anywhere, but you can still see it. And you can even see you can even see the silver flecks coming in. So I'll go ahead and get rid of some of these. They're not going anywhere because I tacked them each time. The one thing I am discovering is that I am having problems even with my glasses, seeing my markings. And so I'm going to show you a little bit about, so what I keep doing is just taking it out and going back over it. I think the heat of my hand is getting rid of my friction pen because I'm just holding it so, close that, so I went over it again so that you guys could see it, but I'll bet you I'm going to have to pull it out and go over it one more time. And let me get rid of this just so that this stuff's out of the way. There we go. All right. So I am going to pull my sewing machine over, put the glasses on because absolutely necessary. And if I were at home, I have this big like magnifying glass with a light. I think if I were to do this again, I would bring that in because that would just eliminate, one, the need for the glasses, and two, it is much more bright. And so I think nowadays, I don't know what it is. I have to have things like super, super, super bright in order for me to really do stuff with them. So that is not part of you at all. That's just where I took out. Okay, cool. So I haven't had any problems if I'm like, oh, that just didn't look the way I wanted it to, taking stuff out. This isn't that big a project. Shouldn't take us that long, right? So I am going to go ahead and shape this the way I want it. I can pull the other camera, and then Lanny will figure out how to. So, oh, pull it closer to me. Oh, wait a minute. I probably need to do this. Yeah. Look at me. I'm learning. Okay. So I am going to shape this before I stick it in the machine and just hold it with my finger. So that's where I want it to go. When I get here, I'm going where I had previously stitched. I already have my settings. If you want to know what my settings are, I have my zigzag step as a 1.0. I had it at less than that, but then it was just a little bit too, I'm messing with cords down here. It was a little bit too close. It was going on, and I want it over my thread. And so I'm going to check, I like to use my hand wheel when I'm first starting, just going to check that I'm going over. And then I'm going to go ahead and tack it in place. That way I don't have to worry about it anymore. And I put on a foot on my machine that I can completely see through. And so I can see where the where the thread's going. And I can see, I need to bring that in just a little bit. I can see where it's, oh, hey, Linda. Just finished your quilt, Linda. Oh, it's Linda Smith, right? Or Linda Ford. So we are feeling great. We did not get COVID. Will is feeling much better, but I told him to stay home. All he had was a headache. You know, but you know how headaches are. Man, I hate headaches. I get migraines, so I told him to stay home, which meant that we didn't do our stitch and sip this morning. We were going to start our daydreamer today, and I'm so disappointed, but that's okay. We just don't have enough staff to be able to do everything that we want to do. All right. It is so cute. Oh my God, it's so cute. All right. You know, I like to use the hand wheel. I am a hand wheel person. And so now what I'm doing is I'm just tacking in this little corner and trying to get it as like, because I want that like, you know, part of the clover right there. And then I'm going to bring this around and I'm going to lift up my thing and I'm going to shape this again. So I know I want to go whoop. And again, I can't, like, that black is just leaving me. I think maybe it's just the black on the green that, it's so funny. Okay, I want this to be nice and smooth. I'm concentrating too much. I can't talk when I'm concentrating so much. So what I'm going to do with this thing is I'm going to leave it here at the shop. So if I show up on the 17th, I will have green on. I will have green on. And I will wear that green because, you know, I teach piano and I teach middle school students. They're so sweet. But they're middle school. Like, there's something about middle school that's just cool and unusual. All right, last one.
That all won't help you, considering the 17th is a Sunday.
I can avoid people altogether. Oh, see? Oh, you just made my day. Right? They're literal and, you know, they remember everything. Did you bring my candy this week, Miss Allison? Now I'm up to 10 pieces. It's like, child, don't you know we have other stuff to do as adults than to feed your sugar habit? Yes, I have the sweetest little girl, but she practices for candy. And let me tell you, she practices. And I for the most part, feed that habit just because, you know, whatever it takes when you're in middle school. All right, getting here to the end. I don't want to do with it yet. Here we go. Oh my gosh, that looked okay. If at first you succeed, try not to act surprised. Okay, and I'm just going to go backwards and forwards just a little bit. Here we go. Okay, so next thing I'm going to teach you is a technique that is used on, I learned it from Catherine Zimmerman. She is she's an award-winning quilter with like, oh my gosh, her quilts are phenomenal. I'm gonna have her on here. I told her she's keeping all these, the quilters in general, these award-winning quilters are keeping these gorgeous embellishments a secret when all of us could be passing that to the next generation. And so I was like, no, you need to, like, this needs to be a thing. We need to learn this, practice this, so that we can pass it on. I was at the Mid-Atlantic, we were at the Mid-Atlantic Quilt Festival last week, and the quilting, oh my gosh, just keep watching my Instagram. I'm putting out every 2 or 3 days. I'm putting out some highlights from this quilt. I mean, like, I'm gonna be able, I got enough pictures because I was so overwhelmed with the beauty of these quilts that I was just like, I need to learn how to do this. This is just ridiculous that I don't know how to do this. And that there isn't anywhere that you can like really, learn how to do this. And Catherine is working on putting together an embellishment class. And I'm like, I am going to be like number one. I'll be number one signed up. So, okay. So this, I'm going to actually move the camera this way so that you can see how I do it this way. Can you see the, and I'm going to show you the foot that I'm using. So I'm using a clear foot so that I can see everything under there. All right. And then I want you to be able to see what I'm doing right here for this technique. And then I'm going to pull out a whole bunch of this Wonderfill. Okay. All right, I'm ready, I think. Okay, so first thing I do, I think, okay? Remember, these are all new techniques to me too, but boy, was this one cool. I was in love. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I have taken this so that it's a double strand, okay? I've got quite a bit here. I probably don't need that much. Let's see here. And so I've got it. I still don't need that much. Where is the end? Oh, wrong way. No wonder I have way too much. Okay, so we're going to knock that back down. There we go. That's probably a good amount. Okay, now, first thing I'm going to do is knock back down to my regular stitch where I'm doing just a straight stitch. And I'm doing a regular straight stitch at the 3.5, I think is what your normal regular straight stitch is. And you can see how I've got my, I probably need to darken that up. I'm scared to let go of my thread. I probably need to darken this up. Okay, so in fact, I'm not sure. I think I might want to start over here. So I have, see, look at how that's disappeared. That's amazing to me. It's got to be my hot, 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 sweaty hands. So I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to start by putting my thread right there and putting my thing down. I need to put my glasses back on. Here we go. Okay. And I'm going to go up and down, but I want to go in the same place that I tack my thread down. Okay. So I'm going to go down, up. I'm going to come back here, down. Oh, stop going forward. There we go. And then I'm going to go, there we go. There we go. Okay, good. Now I'm set. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, even with this camera, okay, I'm going to try and do it with this camera, is I'm going to take my thread and I'm going to cross it like this. Okay. And then once I got that nice and tight, then I am simply going to go forward. Just one. I might need to, I need to either slow it down or use my, and then I crossed it again. So did you see how I crossed it again? I'm going to do it several more times. So I'm going to hold that right there. And it's nice. If you have one of those machines that has a knee thing, oh, that's so much better. Okay. And then I'm going to cross it again. And trying to stay on my line, you know, first time, I haven't done this. Okay, go back. Thank you. Okay. And I haven't done this on television yet, so, or on YouTube yet. Okay, here we go. There we go. It is nice to have like, so that it'll go one stitch. But it wouldn't be nice to have the knee thing. I have one at home that has a knee thing, but I can't use it anymore. There we go. And cross. Lanny, are you able to see that cross? Excellent. The quiet one behind the camera is my husband. We're tired and exhausted because we still have not gotten a break from the show because Willard came home and decided that he was going to be sick, took the week off. right? And he was going to come in today, and I was like, no, I would prefer you just stay home and rest, and then next week maybe we'll get a few days off. All right, Coolio. All right, so now I think, okay, I'm gonna do 2 more. Oh, I just love this technique. Okay, now I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna go do this one in the center. And then I think I am going to, in fact, let's see, what am I gonna do here? And then I don't know how I'm gonna do the third one. I think I'm gonna have to, let's see. I think I'm gonna go behind here. Oh, let's look and see how this is gonna work. Okay, we're gonna go behind. Here we go. And then I'm gonna go behind one and forward one. See, look, I'm figuring this out as I go. These quilters, they shouldn't be holding all these wonderful, awesome techniques secret. Because I could so totally use this for embellishments on all sorts of things. All right. And cross. So yes, when Catherine does her embellishment course, I will be all over it. She did several embellishments that I'm working on incorporating. One of them being this tiny piping. I used to do that when I was younger with my daughter. I would make all those gorgeous smocked clothes for her. And I did them for my sons too. I did a couple for my sons. But you know, she was the first one. I had more time with her. And so I could do that special stuff for her. And I was doing that piping stuff all the time, but I haven't done it in ages. And seeing all the I mean, the accents that this puts on that piping will put on a quilt. Oh my gosh, it just can make or break a quilt. You know, and right now I'm telling you, I'm just like all into learning new stuff. I think it's because I've done so many quilts that it's sort of like I kind of want to move on. And okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm at the end, but I want to do this one too. Oh my gosh, look how gorgeous that is. And so I'm going to do that same thing I did behind here, and I'm going to chop these suckers off. Well, actually, I'm going to go, okay, I want to go pull you through. I'm going to go backwards, and then I'm going to go forwards and backwards. One more and forwards, just to hold this in place. And then I'm going to tack. Beautiful. Okay. And then I'm going to figure out how, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop enough so that I can take and pull it to the back. Okay. And so I'm going to pull enough off there so that I can take that and pull it to the back and tie it off in the back. Okay. Same thing is going to happen down here when I go to cut this out. I am going to leave these and then I'm going to tack them in the back. Okay. All right. And so I've got one more to do, and you guys get it. This is what I'm doing. And so look at how gorgeous that, it's almost like you've braided this gorgeous silver thread. And so I will finish that one off, and then I will take a nice big needle and pull those to the back. And I will put on let me see if I can find my little button here. I will put on a little clasp on the back, and I will not get pinched on Sunday, March 17th. But from here on out, this sucker's staying at the shop. So I will not get pinched on March 17th ever again. So yeah, I hope that gave you some inspirational ideas. At least, you know, you got to see some different embellishments and stuff that you can do with all sorts of, I mean, I bet you have stuff like this hanging around the house already. If not, I'm thinking about carrying it, but I don't want to carry it until I can tell you exactly how you need to use it. And so I'm not quite there yet. Um, so thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, we do it every Thursday. We do something on the Wander Lane series. And so I don't know next week where I'm going with this. Woo! I don't know where I'm going with this. I absolutely, you know how I am. I'm a creature that loves, loves, loves mushrooms. So there is the chance that I'm going to go down here and work with something like that, but I got to figure out what I'm going to do with it. And it'll still be before March 17th. So I'll still feel like, okay, yeah, I can get this done. And anyway, that's what we'll be doing next Thursday. So join us every Thursday for our Wander Lane series. Join us every Monday at this time for our, we're doing a hanky challenge on Mondays. And that's a lot of fun where we're taking a whole bunch of hankies and turning them into upcycled projects. And we're currently working on a notebook cover. So if you've enjoyed this video, make sure you're sharing it, you're liking, you're subscribing, you're doing all that wonderful social media stuff, and we will see you soon at Quilt and Code. Thanks for watching.